welcome to the Advanced Learning Library Board of Directors meeting for November 17th, 2020. We'll call to order. Our first order of business is staff presentation. Robyn Belt, update on the Linwood naming process. Robyn?
Hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Speak up just a little bit.
Okay, how's that?
Perfect.
All right, I'm trying to pull up the PowerPoint here. Okay, this first picture here, it's one of our most recent pictures of the construction project. What you're looking at is going to be our circulation desk. And it's really starting to come together now that the carpet squares are in. You can see our accent wall. So every time we've been showing these updates with staff, they're really starting to feel the momentum of the project. And I think that's starting to come through in their patron interactions as they're answering questions. And so it's really something that they've been looking forward to. So we're gathering some excitement. Since the October board meeting, there's been community engagement on the naming opportunity of the new branch. So the actions that we've taken to get suggestions from the community is a survey link added to our library website. That link has then been shared with city communications, with the District 3 Community Services Representative, and WSU Tech South had shared the link with their students and faculty to gain a wider audience. They're actually going to be our neighbors there along Harry Street. It was featured in a story on Good Day Kansas with Jillian Carroll. She interviewed our own Sean Jones. It was also presented at the November 4th District 3 Advisory Board meeting by Christy. It was added to a display at Goodwill Industries of Kansas and Next Step Alliance, another one of the organizations that is located nearby along the Harry Street complex. Board member Lauren Hirsch reached out to community leaders, businesses, organizations, and area schools around the new location. The link was shared on social media by the library and the city of Wichita's social media sites, and on the District 3's Nextdoor page. It was mentioned by Mayor Whipple during one of his weekly media briefings. And then we've accepted ideas at all of our library locations and at the Colvin Neighborhood Resource Center. And so we today have 70 unique naming ideas as a result of all of this community engagement. And so this next process here, now that we have these ideas, it's going to be your job today to narrow those 70 down to 5. Then we will throw those 5 results back out to the community to gather some more feedback to narrow it from 5 to 3. And then at the December board meeting, those 3 finalists will go down to the single winner that is decided of the name that will be recommended to the city council for them to vote on sometime early in the new year. And that is all that I have for the staff report.
Thank you, Robyn. Does any board member have any questions or comments for Robyn? Hearing none, thank you, Robyn.
All right, thank you.
Next item on the agenda will be to approve today's agenda. Everyone should have received your packet by email and had opportunity to take a look. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented? And if there is a motion, please state your name and the motion.
Lamont, I do so move for the approval of the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Lamont. Is there a second?
Shannon, I will second.
We have a second by Jonathan. Is there any comments? Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item number 3 will be public comment. Is there anyone from the public that would wish to comment and have a few minutes to speak to the board? I see none on location. Is there anyone remote?
No comments yet.
Very good. There's no public comment today. Item number 4 will be the minutes of the October 20, 2020 meeting. Everyone again should have had an opportunity to review those minutes. Very good job. Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve as presented? Motion to approve the minutes of the October 20 meeting, please.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion by Shelby. Is there a second?
I will second. This is Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Next item of business will be unfinished business, and this will be the District 3 branch library naming, narrowing the recommendations down to the top 5. Is Lauren going to lead this? Lauren, the floor is yours.
Hi there. I was hoping maybe Christy could speak to the timeline. Again, I know somebody mentioned it, but just bring it up to the top of our minds.
Right, so at this meeting, you as the naming advisory committee will narrow the 70 recommendations for the new District 3 branch to your top 5 selections. And then, as Robyn pointed to, our avenues for community engagement, we will send the top 5 names back out to the community in the same manner that we did originally to get to the top 3 of those 5 names. And then at your December library board meeting, you will then discuss the top 3 names and make your recommendation that you would like to make, that we will then present to the city council at our first opportunity, probably in January. And the city council then will have the final say as to the name that will be selected for the new District 3 branch library.
Very good. Lauren, how do you want to run this?
Well, this is a little trickier, especially because we're together in one place. I do hope everyone's had a chance to review the names in your packet. I thought we got some great ideas, really creative ideas, maybe based on a geographic area, others based on people to honor, both that have been historic Wichita figures or otherwise. And I learned a lot actually by reading through people's recommendations. So what I'd like to do is just give everyone, you may have been rushing from work or wherever, so I would like to give people maybe 90 seconds to look back through that list that's in your board packet and be noticing not necessarily those that we should cut out, but those that we should elevate to the discussion and narrow it down to 5. So you might be circling or noting those that you most appreciate and consider why. So I'll give you about 90 seconds to do so.
Okay, Lauren, are you suggesting that we go around the room and the remote as to all the board members that are present and ask them to name their top 5 and we will write those down?
Yeah, I'm taking notes over here. I'm sure somebody else is there as well. But we can see what people's preferences are and narrow that in. At this moment, I'm not asking people to give us 5 exactly, but for us to discuss some themes that we appreciate and then narrow it from there.
Okay, that sounds fine. And the next question I have before we even start is this list as presented inclusive, or can any board member add another name if they wish?
Yes, board members are welcome to make additions at this time. We do have one citizen recommendation that came in last night and was in line with some of the others that we've already seen. And Sean may know if there are others that have come in since the closing or since our board packets were put together.
Very good. So do you want to take that one at a time? Do you want to just go down the list of board members and each can identify the names that they feel they want to put into the pot for consideration to get it down to the 5, or do you want any new additional names first?
It honestly doesn't matter to me either way. I think let's go ahead and take some new ideas if there are any.
Okay.
Jonathan has one.
At this time, we'll go ahead and any board member that has a name that is not already on the list, we will take that information now. Jonathan is first. Jonathan?
Yes. Oh, Bleckley. And the second would be Allen. So Bleckley and Allen.
Bleckley and Allen. Who are these people?
Well, Bleckley. I'm sorry. There's a North-South Street named after Bleckley, and he was a, had a Medal of Honor. And then Allen was a newspaper editor,
Okay.
and the only Kansas governor to have lived in Wichita before he was appointed governor.
Got it. Okay, Mr. Bleckley and Mr. Allen will be added to the list by Jonathan. Any other board members have any other additions that they would like to announce at this time? Hearing none. So far, I have one. This individual, and I assume that when we're looking at these things, that primarily when you look at naming rights, there's no set rules, but most are either deceased or it's a location. This person that I'm going to recommend is a lifelong supporter of education and kids. Was a very humble community citizen. Upon passing, endowed a $70 million endowment benefiting Kansas and having positive impact in their community. Was the largest supporter of the music theater, a large supporter of the public zoo, gave the first $10 million to Exploration Place back in the 90s, and was the largest donor to the new Advanced Learning Library of $3 million. That would be Velma Wallace, for your consideration. Is there any other recommendations or additions to the list by any board member? Hearing none, we'll cut it off. Lauren, take it from here.
All right. Well, you've probably had a moment to look at your list, and I see that many are geographic based. Many, embody a person's name. And I think it's noteworthy that we have some living and some deceased recommendations here. A notable one being Cindy Berner, obviously living and well, and one of these comments speaks to why it could be possible to consider someone who is still active and put their name on a building anyway. So First, I would just like to hear people's general impressions. And you don't have to get into specific names quite yet, but from the board.
Okay, not everybody at once. Is there any board member that wants to comment on any of the names so far?
This is Lamar. I'll go ahead and go. So first, I have two that really stand out to me in the beginning. I love the Walters Educational Library. I did not know who Ronald Walters was until I got this list, but to me, he certainly embodies. He's a scholar. He's a great Wichita. Just represents education. So that one really sticks out to me. Then of course, with Cindy, everything that she's done for the library systems over her career, I think that those two specifically for me elevate to the top of the list. Certainly the consideration for former Mayor Carl Brewer. I love everything that Carl has done and what he's represented for the city. The names that are kind of attached to him with the library, I'm not too kind of keen on those, but I do appreciate everything that he's done. But if I had a top two for right now, the Walters Educational Library, I just love how that rolls out and what that gentleman embodies. And then of course, our former director, Cindy Berman as well.
And I'd also like to add that it's quite possible that we can decide that we appreciate a person's name and we don't have to use exactly the phrasing that was recommended. For instance, educational, memorial, public even. We can amend that to be what we think fits.
Jonathan.
Thank you, Robert.
Jonathan?
I think we need to see who we would like to eliminate first. That based on names.
Is now joining.
Well,
One moment. I think we should immediately eliminate names that are based on street names. In other words, like, for example, get rid of Harry Street Library. Other names that are basically on, or based on subdivision roads, and so on, to get rid of those.
Okay, Jonathan has recommended that we eliminate. That's not exactly the way I think Lauren wants this to go. Lauren, you want to comment?
I am curious, I guess basically with a show of hands, if people feel we can avoid the street names and geography and instead pick something that's not location based.
Okay.
And I can't see everyone, so I guess maybe just like a thumbs up or a thumbs in the middle or a thumbs down. If you agree, we should.
We can't see everybody either.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of presents a problem.
I guess we'll have to hear from folks then.
Jonathan has a suggestion.
Jonathan has a suggestion?
If we're going to use a name based on geography, it should be a point or area name, like hilltop, or that's specifically neighborhood related.
Okay. I think what I'd like to do is kind of jump in here and continue on Lauren's idea that we know we have certain board members here, and we know that we need to get it down to about 5, and the first way to do that is to see what the board members like. So it seems to me that since we know we have a role here, board members, we can just go down the list of board members and let them identify their top 5 or 6, and we'll document that, and that will eliminate everything else. And if there are some names or streets or locations, so be it. They can be eliminated once we get it down to a manageable level. Lauren, how does that sound?
That works for me.
I can't read comments. Shelby, you're closest. You want to read some comments for us?
Let's see.
No, ma'am.
There's one at the top that says gas. No, I'm going to restart. Oh, wait.
I think it's
Sorry,
Abby.
the one at the bottom.
Bottom, okay. Abby? Is it Abby?
Yeah,
Abby?
I agree that something as generic as Perry Street Library may not be up to the momentous occasion, but I do like the idea of considering names that reflect the surrounding neighborhoods, etc.
That's what we're good. Let's do that then. Lauren, let's just go down the list of the board members. Everybody can put out their 5 or 6 names. Everything else will be eliminated, and then we'll put it back to you to take it from there.
Sounds great. And I would say that if, yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Let me go down the list then. We've already had Lamont. Jonathan is Mr. Beckley and Mr. Allen. Are there anybody else that Jonathan
That
would
was
like to?
Blackley.
Blackley and Allen. Are there any others that Jonathan would like to be considered?
Yeah, those were my only other ones, he said.
Okay. Lauren, how about you? You're next.
I also like many of these, specifically people that were related to literary figures, although there are many people worth honoring. So my favorites would be Burner, Walters, actually, I'll leave it to those two.
Okay. Shannon Littlejohn, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
What do you got?
I am very up on something with Cynthia's naming it Burner. You know, if it's just Burner, Harry Street. I actually like L.W. Clapp Library because that's a nod to that golf course and, you know, people losing that. But I'm not real in love with it. I like Walters, Ron Walters. I've known him for many years, and he's just pretty amazing. I thought, let's see. I know, never give me the microphone. Some of these are kind of funny. Where was one that I like? Okay, now, I have a personal reason for liking Harry S. Truman, because I actually have a picture of myself with Mr. Truman when I was 11 years old and he was retired from the presidency. But it also keeps Harry Street in there too. And other than being a political name, not everybody loved Harry, but, and then I liked the generic Heartland Library and Meadowlark. Meadowlark is very kind of nice because that's a little bit of that area.
Okay. Abby, are you with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we sure can. Have you got some names that you would like to have us write down?
I do have a couple I like. I do like the ideas that incorporate Cynthia Burner. Just trying to scroll through the list to. I really like the ones that are kind of partial to the neighborhood. And in one of the comments, someone had mentioned how many of the other libraries kind of pay homage to the neighborhoods or geographical areas that they're in. So I do like the Hilltop Library, Meadowlark Library. There was another one on here that I liked, and I seem to be missing it right now.
Other surrounding neighborhoods are Grandview, Meadowlark, Hilltop, and then I forget what the one across Oliver would be.
And as we go through this, if somebody remembers something later, we'll give an opportunity at the end to have a little second.
And I do like Ad Astra. I mean, it may seem like a weird name for a library, but and I don't know all the history, but I do know that it took Cindy's entire library career almost to get another library there. So maybe that's relevant. Those were my favorites.
So Abby, I've got Burner, Hilltop, Meadowlark, Ad Astra. Did I get those all?
Yes.
Okay.
Grandview is another
Grandview.
name.
Oh, yes, that one as well.
Okay. Shelby Peterson.
I too like Ad Astra, and, the clap, I think there was one that combined clap and coal, didn't it? Or maybe it was clap
Yeah.
metal or clap coal,
Well, there was a Harry Street coal branch.
or maybe we could say coal clap branch, and then, just like Shannon, the LW clap, just because of the golf course next door, and so many people, you know, relate to that golf course in that area by LW clap. The Ad Astra and the Cole Harry Street, or Cole clap. I guess that would change a little bit, but. And then Metal Lark, is also a good one, just because Metal Lark is also a state road, isn't it? Yeah, so it does neighborhood and a state road at the same time.
Okay.
Huh? Yeah.
Ad Astra, LW Clap, Harry Cole, Metal Lark, and is there another?
That's good.
That's it. Dr. Henry, is there anything that appealed to you out there?
Sorry, trying to unmute. The only one I didn't comment on would be Cynthia, and I think she's very deserving. Unless you want me to make a formal nomination that I think it should be Kevin McWhorter Library.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much. No.
Those are my two suggestions.
Okay, so we've got Cindy Berner. Who else am I missing here? Got Shelby, Justin, Shannon, Jennifer?
Yes, I like the Cynthia Berner options. I also like Walters. I do like Ad Astra and Hilltop or Meadowlark, but Berner is my top favorite.
Okay, Walters, Berner, Ad Astra, Meadowlark, and what was the fifth?
Hilltop,
Hilltop? Let's see, who am I missing? Tadana, are you with us? Does anybody know if Tadana's
Donna Douglas is here.
Who?
Donna.
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 I'm sorry, I realize I was on mute.
Okay, Donna Douglas. Donna, are you there?
Are you saying Donna or Madonna?
Tadana, thank you.
They're both there, but. yeah.
Okay, we'll go to Donna first and then Donna.
Okay, all right, can everyone?
Okay, this is Donna. I like Cynthia.
Okay?
That's it for me.
Okay, that was Donna.
Yes.
Okay, how about Tadana?
Correct.
Okay, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. My top two choices would be Cynthia and Carl Brewer. I did like the suggestion of Walters. And then I agree with the surrounding neighborhoods names.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else that is out there that I have not identified?
Jonathan has. I have my top 6.
Okay, what's Jonathan's top 6?
Cynthia Berner, Carl Brewer, Mr. Blackley. Well, Mr. wouldn't be at the beginning of it. Blackley, Hilltop, Ad Astra, Athena.
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 Okay, am I the only one left?
I believe so.
Okay, the ones I'll identify, Cynthia Berner, LW Clapp, Velma Wallace, and Harry Street. Okay, Lauren, I think all board members have had an opportunity to identify those that they feel are their favorites. Is there anyone out there that wishes to add to what they have already given us or change what they've already given us?
I would like to make a point about the neighborhood names.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is that there are several surrounding neighborhoods concerns about naming the library specifically one, because that may feel exclusionary to those that are also surrounding that piece of land. And I'm not sure what to do about it. I just have that concern, so I'm sharing that. Please remember that L.W. Clapp was one of our Wichita mayors, and that golf course is now a park. It's a community space which is going to be developed over the next years. It is not and I also don't know for sure. I've not heard any word that maybe they're considering changing that name. You know, by us naming the library that, it may be the case that it doesn't always match the name of the park if we make that choice. So just.
Okay. I did forget one. I'm going to add Carl Brewer. Anybody else?
Let's see, me, Shannon. When you mentioned Wilma Wallace, I would like to add Wilma Wallace too, because she's an amazing hero.
Well, as I said, she did give $3 million to this
Yeah.
Advanced Learning Library.
Yeah.
But I think
She's
her
did a lot.
reputation around town and her benevolence is well documented.
Yeah, it's true at that.
Okay, Lauren, it's back to you. How do we get it down from here?
Well, that's a great question. If we were all together in person, I'd know what to do.
Wait, time out. Wait just a
I
second.
usually don't interrupt, but I kept tab of which one got
Yeah.
the most names and recommendations from everybody. So I could tell you the top ones that got all the most votes if you want.
Okay, we're gonna get a report of what we all did, and go ahead.
Burner, anything with burner in it got the majority of the votes. The next after that would be Walters Educational Library. After that, Ad Astra and Meadowlark or Hilltop tied. And Grandview got mentioned once, and then Mayor Carper. Those are the top ones.
So the top 5 are Cynthia Burner, Walters, Ad Astra, Meadowlark,
And Clap, sorry.
/ Hilltop,
/ Clap.
Brewer, and
Clap.
L.W. Clapp.
Hi, this is Abby. I just had a comment about the neighborhood names. I was looking at a Google map, and because I think it was Lauren who mentioned about excluding certain neighborhoods. So as far as that conversation goes, it looks like the library is actually in the Grandview neighborhood, so not so much Meadowlark or Hilltop.
Okay, thank you.
It's actually Grandview Heights.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. So I don't know if we need to narrow down those neighborhood names, so more than one, but we do have 5 here. So I don't know if that is narrowed enough, or if we need to come up with a full precise of what we're asking the community to vote on. But for instance, with Ad Astra, would it be Ad Astra Library Branch, Ad Astra Library, Walters Library, or do we need more words in there?
Okay.
Branch library, where it would say branch library, Ad Astra branch library, and then list it for the, Meadowlark branch library, Burner branch library, Walter, and then have them vote, the public vote on it that way. Brewer,
Oh.
branch library.
The names we would be putting out to the community would be Burner Branch Library, or do we want Cynthia Burner Branch Library? We need to hear what the board feels about first and last names.
Jonathan has a point. Short names typically.
I like the idea of including first and last names. Sorry if I talked over somebody.
Okay. Okay, great. Again.
Okay, Jonathan, what have you got?
Long names tend to be shortened in use. For example, our East Branch is named after Ford Rockwell, but it's most often called just Rockwell. So we have to think that any name we pick will be shortened, just the last name. And on books, the sticker will just have 3 letters in the labeling of the books.
On the spine of the book when they check it out. By branch identification.
Yeah. Abby, what did you have? I didn't catch it.
Oh, I was just saying that I like the idea of having first and last names. I understand that, you know, it'll get shortened, just like Jonathan was saying. But the reason I like first and last names is because it gives people who see the name of the library, like, you know, more context of who that person is. Like, in the library community, you know, Cindy's a big deal, but maybe people aren't going to know who the Burner Library is named after if it doesn't have a first name to go with it, so on and so forth.
I will say I agree with that. I think it provides some context for people to do their own research when they're inquiring, when they're curious.
Okay, so our goal is to get it down to 5 today. Is that accurate?
Yes. And I'd like it to be precise, exactly what you would imagine on a survey going out to the city of Wichita community. So, let's see. In that case, Walters would be what?
Second.
What would the whole name be? Ronald Walters?
I'll tell you
Okay.
what. Hey, Lauren, a suggestion.
Yes.
As far as what the individual is called, I think right now let's include a step before that. What are the 5 going to be? Whether it's Burner, Cynthia Burner, whatever. I don't. Okay. At this point, that's not determined. But I think we all know that Burner is one of the 5. Is that agreeable?
Yep.
I believe that Walters is one of the 5. Is that agreeable?
Yes.
I believe that Clapp is one of the 5 in some form. Is that agreeable?
I'm not sure about that. To me, that fit into the category of neighborhoods surrounding areas, and we have not.
If you're taking neighborhoods out, then that one has to go, and Meadowlark has to go, and they were in the top 5.
No.
The third one was Ad Astra.
And the third one was Ad Astra?
Ad Astra and Meadowlark had tied with 4 each. That was
So the third and fourth would be Ad Astra and Meadowlark? Is that agreeable?
Who was the 5th agreeable?
the first one.
Well, Grandview. Okay. This is Shannon. I like to say Meadowlark better than I like to say Grandview, but if we're naming for the neighborhood, I like Lauren's point too. Don't section it out too much, and maybe we stick with Grandview if we do a neighborhood name because that is the location.
This is Tadana. I agree with that.
Jonathan has a comment.
Jonathan?
If we're going to go with the neighborhood name, we should be going with Meadowlark because that is also the state bird.
Yeah, 2 meetings.
Yeah,
2 reasons.
yeah.
Meadowlark was tied with Ad Astra with 4 for
Okay.
3rd place.
So does that mean Burner, Walters, Ad Astra, Grandview, and Meadowlark, that's the 5?
Well, Grandview wasn't nominated.
Yeah.
Grandview was
Yeah.
after, it was first, Burner had the most votes. Second was Walters had the second highest number of votes. 3rd and 4th place was a tie between Ad Astra and Meadowlark.
Okay.
And then your 5th place, there was a tie between Hilltop, LW Clap, and I think that's it with 3 votes. Or
Okay.
Mayor Carl Brewer, so you actually had a 3-way tie for 5th.
All right. So Ad Astra and Meadowlark are 3 and 4,
Mhm.
4 and 3, because they tied. And then it comes down to the 5th place, which is either going to be one of these 3. Hilltop, Carl Brewer, Clapp. Is that accurate?
LW Clap, Brewer, and Hilltop.
Yep. How do we get past
Comment.
this? Yeah, Jonathan?
I would go with Brewer over Clapp for 2 reasons. One, we already have the Clapp name in the area, and Brewer helped keep the libraries on track.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay, Lauren, how do you want to take
All
it
right.
from here? Should we just take a poll and define the 5th place between Brewer, Clapp, and Hilltop and just see who gets the most votes out of those 3? And that'll become our 5th name?
I don't want to complicate this further, but I see what we've done as this. That we've named 3 people. Cynthia Burner, Ronald Walters, Brewer, the phrase ad abstra, and then in general, the idea would be a neighborhood or a geographic. Yeah, I feel that's what we're really at. What we need to do is keep those other 4, decide which of the neighborhood names we would like to go with.
That's Meadowlark. Right.
Is that accurate?
Meadowlark had the most, yeah.
Yeah, Meadowlark had the most names. Most
And I think we
names.
should take a vote on that again, because I think people just kind of said one of the surrounding neighborhoods without maybe being specific.
Yeah.
So let's, if you all agree with me, then we could just take a vote on, the surrounding neighborhoods.
Okay.
So we're not doing Clap, it's definitely gonna be Carl Brewer as the 5th one, and you're voting on the 4th one? Neighborhood name?
Is that that's what I heard her say?
That's what I heard her say.
Yeah, my feeling is that we could choose now between Clapp, Grandview,
Clap.
Meadowlark, Hilltop, and I don't know the name of the neighborhood to the east. But it's a little further away from the library anyway.
So there's 4 you're voting on. Clap, Meadowlark.
I think it's East Mount Vernon.
East Mount Vernon. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
So I will type these into the chat. Clapp, Meadowlark, Grandview or Grandview Heights, Hilltop, which is directly north, and East Mount Vernon. And you're taking a second vote of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names, which also includes Clapp.
Okay, Clapp, Grandview or Grandview Heights, Meadowlark, Hilltop, and what was the last one?
East Mount Vernon.
East Mount Vernon, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, our goal is to take those 5 location names and get it down to 1, and that will be our 4th place vote, and then we will have the top 5, and our job today will be done. Would that be, Lauren, would that be accurate?
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm sorry this is so difficult, but
No,
thank
no,
you
no.
all.
Hey, this was gonna be difficult with remote, so we're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay.
Okay, so how do we do this?
I'd say go down the line.
Yeah, just go down the line, say how many for Clap, how many for Meadowlark, County for Hilltop.
Or we go to each individual board member and say, of those 5, what is your pick?
Yep.
Well,
Okay, and then we'll just add up the picks.
That one.
Okay, is Lamont still with us? Because he had to go.
I'm still here.
Lamont, of those 5 names, which one would you prefer?
Meadowlark.
Lamont is Meadowlark. Jonathan?
Meadowlark.
Jonathan is Meadowlark. Shelby?
Meadowlark.
Shelby is Meadowlark. Shannon Littlejohn.
I'm a meadowlark.
Abby?
Grandview Heights, just to be that person.
That's fine.
It's kind
Abby
of
is
grand
Grandview
sounding.
Heights. Jennifer Goheen.
I'm with the last one, Grandview Heights.
Grandview Heights. Donna Douglas.
Meadowlark.
Tadana Neal.
Grandview Heights.
Justin Henry.
Hilltop.
Kevin McWhorter. I'm going to go with Meadowlark. Lauren, you're last.
Luckily, it's not a tiebreaker. I'm going with Meadowlark.
We get the bird.
Did I miss anybody? What is the vote?
Meadowlark, yeah, for sure.
Meadowlark is the 4th place. So by my calculation, we have these 5. Cynthia Berner, Ronald Walters, Ad Astra, Meadowlark, Carl Brewer.
Good.
Does anybody disagree with what I just said? Okay. So at this point, do we need to take a vote on these 5, or do we just acknowledge that we got it down to 5?
That
No,
was
I just
Christie's.
need a vote because, this is just unfinished business, narrowed down to 5. Next, we'll get community engagement, and it'll get narrowed down to their top 3, which will be back to you in December to then make your final.
Okay, did everybody hear what Christie said?
No.
Okay,
Okay.
louder.
I was just confirming that I don't think there needs to be a vote because this is unfinished business where you all were just narrowing down your top 5 picks that will go back out to the community. And then they will vote and get to the top 3, which will come back to you as unfinished business in your December meeting. And then at that point, you will make your top recommendation to go to city council.
Very good. Okay,
So-
go ahead, Lauren.
So my request is that, we did some community outreach and that we continue doing that with this round of voting now. So please, everybody on the board, do your part to share when this starts coming out on social media and when you receive an email that this is happening. Let's make sure we've got lots of people participating because this will get them excited about the library, no matter what it's called.
Absolutely. Lauren, thank you so much for your efforts and those that helped you.
This is Abby. Could we go over those 5 options one more time just for my edification?
Certainly. We have Cynthia Berner, Ronald Walters, Ad Astra, Meadowlark, and Carl Brewer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Now, what I just said were the names correct? Do we need to talk about that? Cynthia Berner, not Berner. Ronald Walters Education.
I think Lauren had mentioned adding branch library, somebody's branch, maybe it was Shelby branch library to the ends of all of those, so you just need to be clear on what name you're putting out there for the next round of community engagement. Is it branch library on everything?
When you call called the learning library, would it, or anything, it'd just be branch library?
Branch library? Okay, I think we're there. Lauren, again, thank you very much, and thank you to all the board members for your participation in this. This is a big deal, a big deal. Okay, we'll go on. New business, we have the October 2020 finance report and bills. Aaron is not here today, so I will try to go through this. Took a look at all the bills. The first thing on the general fund bills, $943,455.05. We had three pay periods. Thank you. We had 3 pay periods this month. The general fund revenue of $725.61 was COVID-19. The CIP Linwood relocation, $194,592.54. The grant fund bills were $30,533.87. And the gift and memorial fund bills, $2,560.46, for a total of $1,171,867.53. I will make a motion that this be passed. Is there a second?
This is Donna Douglas. I second.
Thank you, Donna. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion before voting? Any comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. What do we have next? The Sickles grant transfer? Bear with me just a second, I'm getting there. Christy, you want to tell us what we're doing here?
Yes, so every year, we have to expend the Sickles, the prior Sickles grant, and what we don't expend on purchases gets transferred into the branch facility improvement fund that the library board of directors set up in 2017. And then those funds are used to, in support of furnishings, equipment, materials, programs, and services that benefit library customers. And then the Sickles executive director previously determined that by transferring the unexpended funds into the Sickles Facilities Improvement Fund to assist with implementation of branch plan fulfills the spending requirements of that grant agreement. And so each year we transfer the remaining balance. So this is transferring the remaining balance of the 2019 Sickles grant to that fund.
And that amount, is that the $38,246.68?
Yes.
Yes, it's the one on the invoice that's also attached to the memo, $38,246.68.
Okay, very good. I will make a motion from the Finance Committee that we authorize staff to transfer the remaining balance of the 2019 Sickles grant into the Sickles Facilities Improvement Fund in the amount of $38,246.68. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Shelby. Is there any discussion, comments, or questions from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Wait, go ahead. Oh, honey.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda will be the proposed changes to the Library Foundation Endowment Fund spending policy. And let's see here. Christy, are you getting that? Or is Christy over?
Well, if you have questions, Christy Ober can answer those, but each year we also review the foundation spending policies, and the library board approves those, and then it goes to the foundation board to approve the spending policies. And because I'm the director for the library, has responsibility for spending in the checking account where these funds are, that's why the library board each year approves these policies. So these policies have been updated to reflect any changes that have been made throughout the year. There were a couple of endowment funds that were miscategorized that got straightened out with an audit for the foundation, and Christy Oberg can answer any of those questions. There were some changes on pages 1 through 4 of the attached report in your packet that talked about designating them as either permanently or temporarily restricted. An update was made to the Nancy C. Hinman Memorial Endowment Fund, indicating where she passed away. Agency funds have been updated as to how the expenditures are reviewed. There was a social events and employee recognition team fund that no longer is in existence, so we removed that one and consolidated that into the staff association fund. So there were some changes to that language. There was a work group fund for restricted accounts for each branch and section of the library system that no longer has funds, so that one was eliminated. The Sickles and Levan Trust funds were moved under agency funds. And there was a Friends Marketing Fund that was added to the spending policy on page 7. That has been there since 2007, but for some reason just didn't appear in the spending policy, so we put that in. So just the updates to make this accurate. And then once you approve these, then that goes on to the foundation board for approval.
Right, okay. Very good. Christy Oberg, if you're there, is there anything you want to add?
No, I think Christy Dowell did a great job of reporting all the changes.
Very good, thank you. I'll add, being on the foundation, the finance committee of the foundation board did a lot of work to go back over 25 years of books and came up with these things that are in front of you that gets us up to where we are very comfortable that everything is accurate. There was never any money issues. It's just how everything was categorized and accounted for. So that being said, we do need a motion coming from the Finance Committee. I'll go ahead and make that motion that we endorse the changes to the Library Foundation spending policy as proposed by staff, as identified in your board packet. Is there a second?
Lauren, seconds.
Thank you, Lauren. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or questions for the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of the proposed changes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And finally, under new business, we have the proposed 2021 holiday schedule. Everybody's had a chance to take a look at that.
So you skipped the endorsement of the foundation nominating.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. Thank you. Let me get back to that. Okay. So we're being asked to endorse the Wichita Public Library Foundation Nominating Committee's proposed slate of library directors, which is identified in the interoffice memorandum. Okay.
It has.
Go ahead, Christy.
Yeah, so each year, this is another item that is presented to the library board in advance of the foundation board meeting to approve the annual slate of library library directors, and this one adds, I believe, Don Berry to that slate.
Okay.
He'll be
That's
joining
okay.
the other library directors that are already listed.
Okay. Very good. Okay, I'll make the motion that the board approve the Library Foundation request for the board of directors. Is there a second?
Jonathan Winkler?
Jonathan seconds. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none,
I
all
would
those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Chris?
1 second, Christy Ober.
Yes, you just need to amend that to say the library directors. It's not all of the directors board, it's just library directors.
Okay, thank you. So I'll amend to include library directors. That would be on the Library Foundation board. Got it. Okay, with that amendment, and we have a second, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Now, we'll go on to the proposed 2021 holiday schedule. Christy? Is there anything you want to comment on that?
Okay, so each year, we propose a list of our closed holidays for you to approve in advance. And so for 2021, there are listed the city holiday closings that the city of Wichita closes for. In addition, you generally have one board designated Sunday, which is generally Easter Sunday. And then some of the other holidays fall within a weekend area that we propose closing on Sunday, May 30th, and Sunday, September 5th, which are the actual Memorial Day and Labor Day weekend closings. In addition, July 4th, Independence Day, falls on a Sunday, and October 11th would be our staff in-service training day. Now this year, you approved us being closed in October for our staff in-service day, and we ended up not being closed because of all of the complications with COVID, but we would like to go ahead and plan to have a staff in-service day next year with everything working out if we're able to do that. Wednesday, November 24th is, we generally close early on Thanksgiving Eve, so we generally close at 5 p.m. Saturday is actually December 25th for the Christmas holiday, and then Friday, December 31st, also requesting to close early at 5 p.m. for the New Year's Eve. The dates that require approval from you are the board designated holidays that are the July 4th, October 11th, November 24th, December 25th, and December 31st early closings.
Very good.
And the Easter, Sunday Easter.
And the Sunday Easter. Yeah.
Comment?
Jonathan?
I move to adopt the holiday schedule as presented.
We have a motion by Jonathan to approve as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Who was that?
Tadana.
Tadana, thank you. We have a second by Tadana. Are there any comments or is there any discussion? Very good. Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Special committee reports. The Finance Committee has already reported. Jonathan, is there anything from the Operations Committee that you would like to share with us?
Just one brief update. Evergreen closes at the end of this month. Oh, for the, for the remodeling. So there will be a book drop. And after about 2 or 3 weeks, they'll be shelving IT equipment and other things will be moved. There will be a temporary location in the parking, Central and 2700 Woodlawn.
2700 North Woodlands. It's a
North
park and
Woodland.
recreation facility.
The park and recreation facility. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Jonathan. Is there any question? Are there any questions for Jonathan? We'll go on to planning and facilities. Randy is not here today. Is there anything, Christy, you would like to say?
Unfortunately, the sewer smell returned, so that fix that we thought might work didn't, and they will need to initiate a re-engineering to fix that issue for this building here. We reported that there were 2 sidewalks that we were asking to be installed, one at this facility and one at the Alford facility. And we are trying to get bids for spring to do that work. Apparently, all of the contractors are pretty busy right now, and that's the earliest that it looks like we'll be able to get that work completed. But we would like to get bids in, so then it can be awarded, and then we just know that the work will be pushed out to spring. We went and looked at some possible modular furniture at the environmental health building that we might be able to use in some staff areas at the Evergreen, new Evergreen space, and made final selection of finishes for that facility. The moving bids for both Evergreen and Linwood came back and have been awarded. The book drop that Jonathan referred to was actually installed this last week at the temporary Evergreen facility. And it looks like we're still on track to get the certificate of occupancy around the first week of December for the Linwood building. And that's all I have right now on that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board to Christy regarding planning and facilities? Thank you. Public affairs, I'm not sure if Lamont is still with us. Lamont?
We do not have a report, but I do want to take the opportunity, as always, to thank staff and congratulate them for the work that they're doing through these times. You guys are doing phenomenal. Thank you. And congratulations to Lauren. You're doing a phenomenal job of getting this all narrowed down, and appreciate the work that you're doing, and everybody else just want to thank you as well. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Lamont. Appreciate it. Support organizations, next is the Friends of the Library. Is there anyone to report for the Friends?
Hi, Kevin. Yes, it's Matt Warner. Thank
Matt.
you for giving us the time to speak. Since my last update, we had a couple new projects. Obviously, for a long time, things have been on hold as we wait new developments with the library. However, in early October, we did put forth our first ever conducted online virtual book sale. Basically, the way it worked was we utilized elements of foundation staff and library support, had customers order their book bags online, and then they just came and picked it up as you would any other to-go order. So through that effort, we actually raised a little over $1,700 for the library, and we plan to have another sale in this fashion on December 5th. So a great way to manage our book inventory and at the same time help increase our sales and keep things going for the next year. In addition to those items, we'll be having our election for the 2021 slate of officers in our next December board meeting. And as well, we're working to finalize some plans and how to increase our membership benefits for Friends members for 2021, since in light of COVID, there's some changes in how they can utilize their membership. So we're exploring those options with library staff, and we'll put that together for the next year. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Matt. We appreciate all your efforts. Any questions for Matt? Thank you, Matt. Library Foundation, Christy Oberg, anything you want to report?
Yes, and I'll be brief. First and foremost, I just wanted to thank you all for your service this year, and to keep in mind the Library Foundation as you are making your year-end contributions. All of you should be receiving a direct mail solicitation that went out Monday. It was mailed. So it's always a goal of mine to have 100% giving at the foundation level board, and then this year I would like to add the goal of having 100% giving with the public libraries board. So I also want to say no amount is too little, and every gift makes a difference. So I would really like you to consider making a gift to the foundation this year. And then finally, I just wanted to add one thing I did think about, Christy, nor you, Kevin, mentioned about the endowment, is that with the changes that we've made, a positive occurrence was created, which we had not anticipated, but now the library will have more unrestricted funds to spend on the endowments. In the past, they were restricted in a couple of different ways incorrectly, and now all of those dollars will be free to be used. I mean, they could be used in the same way they were in the past, but the library now has the ability to make a different funding decision if they need to. So that was the good news, and one of the big takeaways from all of the work we did on the endowments. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Good. Thank you for bringing that up. I'd forgotten, and yes, that is a very positive event for the library board. Any questions or comments for Christy Oberg from the foundation? Thank you, Christy. Genealogical Society, is Jim here? Anybody reporting for genealogical?
I can read his report from the packet if you like.
Go ahead.
They report that they have canceled their in-person meetings in keeping with COVID-19 protocols. The WGS Board of Directors meetings are being held via Zoom. Their monthly education meetings are also being held via Zoom. And they will restart in-person meetings and classes as soon as we are able to open our facility further. Their membership is relatively steady at 179, and their members continue to renew via mail and online. Their October 17th meeting was via Zoom and featured Melissa Tennant from the Allen County, Indiana Library speaking on piecing the census puzzle together. The November 21st meeting will be via Zoom on the topic politics on the platform women's suffrage in the Chautauqua. And they're not scheduling any trips. Their 9th annual genealogy conference was canceled, and their next annual conference will be held, was held, he has October 9th, so that's in the past. That's what they have.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the Director of Libraries report. Back to you, Kristen.
Okay. So with the support and approval from our Library Board President Kevin McWhorter and City Manager Robert Layton, on Saturday, November 21st, library branches will be closed due to scheduled maintenance of the City of Wichita's data center. The Advanced Learning Library will remain open. There will be no phone service to any city facilities, including library locations. The access to library's website, online catalog, online databases, Overdrive, 24-hour phone renewal system will also be unavailable. All services should be restored on Sunday, November 22nd. We are keeping the Advanced Learning Library open because we are able to provide public internet through this facility as it runs on a different system than the city's data center. And we will check out materials in an offline mode so that we can upload those after the fact. We have extended out the due dates on materials that are due on Saturday the 21st to be due on Monday the 23rd. And those can still be returned through a book drop at any of our locations. Those will remain open. The materials that are held for customers at our branches for pickup, those will also be extended out to Monday the 23rd, so that those will still be there available for the customers. And because of the rise in our numbers for COVID cases in the community, for positive cases as well as isolations and quarantines, and seeing the same pattern within the city of Wichita staff, we are taking some additional measures and a few changes to our library service. We had planned to begin some live technology classes in November, and we have changed those back to a virtual environment or a one-on-one book a librarian session for the individuals that had signed up for those classes. We were going to schedule some live classes in the first quarter of 2021, but we are revising those also to be in a virtual format. We're ordering some additional plexiglass barriers to put in places that we found that we needed. When we first started ordering those type of supplies, they quickly became unavailable, and now we're seeing that those are available again, so we're ordering some of those to place in other areas. We're also reassessing spacing of tables and PCs in our conference center in this building. Although they are spaced out 6 feet from each other, we are contemplating reducing the numbers just so we don't have as many people in the space for extended periods of time. And as you know, we are also going to be going back to a virtual environment for our library board meetings beginning with next month. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows, if you accept your meeting invite that was sent out, then you will see at the bottom on your calendar for each of those meeting invitations will be that Teams link and the phone number to dial in. So you can just go there each month to log into the meeting. As of October 30th, Reverie Roasters paused service from the Advanced Learning Library because of low sales, also as a result of our COVID pandemic and not having enough foot traffic within the building. I have been working with city staff regarding possible solutions going forward. Their contract is up in December, but we may be able to put the contract on hold for a period of time so that to allow us to get back into full service again and go forward. We don't know if that's going to be something they're interested in or not, but just something that we've been discussing. So that's the status of that right now. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Does any board member have any questions for the director? Hearing none, we'll go on. Are there any announcements before we adjourn? Any announcements from any board member? Hearing none?
I have a comment. Not sure if it's an announcement, but this morning I said in a meeting for the Kansas Literacy Festival with Storytime they're getting ready to put together, and I just wanted to mention that to the group. I'm going to follow up an email with the appropriate people, but I wanted to see if we could think about trying to participate. They wanted to get as many organizations together to do this giant festival in the park next year, September 21, just to promote literacy.
Great. Thank you for that information. Any other comments or announcements from the board? We'll end our meeting at this time. It went a little bit long, but we had a lot of work to do today, and I want to thank each and every one of you for participating under these most difficult and challenging circumstances. As Christy mentioned, next month will be strictly virtual, so take care, have a good Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll see you in December. We are adjourned. Thank you.